comp that they played in playoffs might be enough of a curveball to throw them off. Bigger attacking first. This is where they struggled yesterday against Focus. They have to do better today.
Yeah, we've seen their bind attacking side can be a little strange to say the least at times as well. So excited to see how this one is going to pan out for Big. Showers control already taken for Surreal Fire, sending down the boom bot, and they've locked in control early of that area. Now we focus on Twiston's position as he puts some control towards Hookah.
Where you expect the race to be one of the big strengths and differences with them so far. Masic up watching on short. This is where the operator found a lot of success for Yugi yesterday when Big played up against Focus. Team is able to do a very similar thing here for the most part, and it's something that Aslan needs to be very careful of and expects it. A little bit of a dink damage comes in. Right now, Big are not really putting any focus on a site in particular, but yesterday they really struggled with extremity control. Nobody is there for Big on Showers or B long.
Right now, focus on that spike. It's currently positioned down in bottom middle, just outside of Hookah. For the time being, no fight has yet ensued. 45 seconds. Both teams just slowly warming their way into this one. And it is Surreal in this passive defensive setup. They're now waiting for the move of Big. Now Aldrone. That's a big piece of utility. They love to use this on the attacking side. And well, it's baited out a good bit of utility. Now they're going to try and accelerate through Hookah. Jailers has found one. Casp able to back it up. And now into the 4v4. It is Ryans who had the chance.
I think Ryans needs to stay alive here, holding onto the elbow position. The flash comes through, and the rest of the stack is coming in from Surreal towards CT.
And Surreal still able to keep up 4, and now they follow up with kills. JJ and Ryans taking plays down inside of the site. Casper had the chance, but can't find the kills. And Surreal with a convincing pistol round will pick up the first round of this best of 5.
Yeah, fantastic play from Ryans that's just holding onto that flank, pushes out on elbow. And Big, yeah, I'm really concerned how much we see of that extremity control. Trying to funnel 5 players either through short or through Hookah is asking for it at this point. It's good post-plant positioning, but Ryan's getting his pick onto God beat and just being a pain and forcing players like Casper to go for those peaks. Surreal are gonna want to take a lot of that initial map control. And for Big, it's just a couple of sheriffs as they're forced to save.
Yeah, Big down, looking a little rough at the start of this, but you know, I talk about the outdraw there from God B. Ryan, from what we've seen so far on Bind for Big's attacking side, you can often even see God B off towards B long on his own, sending the owl drone in, just trying to use that in those late rounds to try and bait out rotation, bait out utility, but often he can do it alone, and that's the cool thing about God B.
Yeah, he's going to want to try and send fakes and rotates away. He is typically the one with a spike though, so wherever we see God B go is typically where these slight hits come in. But the sheriffs are working out for Big. Twiston went for the Ego peak 1v2 in Hookah and found one. Now Casper's got another. And the resets come in, but it has allowed a bit of space for Surreal to push out. And the third sheriff kill. It could be a forfeit if Masic's not careful.
Yeah, they're just finding everything. Even got B with a classic, able to land the headshot. And this is a disaster right now. JJ comes through the teleporter, but only to his demise as Obnox connects the headshot. Big tie it up. They come into this one with just sheriffs, and it feels like Surreal were a little under pressure after the initial Hookah fight didn't go their way, and they kept pushing into Big, who were happily taking these frags.
The big thing with the puns.
The big thing with Big.
Yeah, the big thing, the insurmountable thing for Big here, I think, is you're looking at the Sky and the Sova. Just a double duelist. It's something that Surreal app running here. It's also something that Focus didn't run. And Surreal forced onto an eco. They don't have much information to work with, so they have to play a bit more aggressive to push for intel to see if it's going to be an A hit or a B hit. Like Masic here does have the teleport that allows him to get out with that headhunter, so it's a nice start. But it is going to be Big trying to take a lot of this extremity control, or they should be trying to fight for showers now. Twiston poking around in Hookah, it's his role to be doing that. So I'm a little bit concerned if I'm looking at Surreal that they're going to try and push out for information and just run into a stack like they did against Big. Big will want to slow the pace down here, and Surreal will want to speed it up as much as possible.
Yeah, Surreal wanting to get them down in the mud, get them dirty, and get into a scrappy fight. You can see that Spectre placed just outside the map. You don't want to be giving that to anybody for Surreal, who gets aggressive and finds it. Catch from our observer team today, as it has been every day. Mel with the man action, I believe Xilv alongside of her today, so definitely love a nap. But right now, Big down a player against the weaker guns. Are we really going to see another snapback? Probably unlikely, given the fact that we are seeing this B site be completely empty, and Big are walking towards it.
It is an open site, and it's kind of like what I meant with Surreal,
left.
because they have so little information to work with. Obviously, they don't have much economy to buy up abilities, but the Trailblazer not being used. It is either we push for intel, and that's a risk, or we just have to stack, which they're doing now. There is still 5 alive, so this retake is more than doable. It's something that Big have to respect despite them having better guns.
Well, here comes the guiding light, just trying to pop them in. Lovely shot of the Headhunter. Twistin, not a fan of that, I'm sure. A couple missed shots, but that one will land. Masick finds another 3 kills in this round as Masick gets 4. Okay, Masick, this is ridiculous. It is now being stuck. The defuse being held, and JJ to the headshot with the Sheriff. An absolutely unbelievable thrifty from Surreal, and Masick kicks off this best of 5 in stylish fashion.
How many bullets did he have on his Headhunter? He still had
I think he
one
had
left,
maxed it out.
So, yeah.
Right.
7 shots, 4 kills, not bad.
They had 8 to begin. First, here it is towards B-Long. This one's ridiculous, but it seems like it's getting a little messy. A couple missed shots, then still able to really focus up and is able to find that other one off cam. So, ridiculous stuff out of Masick. That is going to be a tilting round for Big to start this game off. You never want to go down to a round like that, and you can just see how messy this game has been. Both teams losing to Thrifties already.
There is a buy at least coming in. It's not the best one for Big. But Tour de Force is activated for Surreal, so they have something going. It's a bit of an odd full buy for both teams, but that's a big ultimate to have on round 4 for Surreal. Again, it's watching short, and a lot of players died there to the operator for Big yesterday. How are they going to approach it now? There needs to be an adjustment. They can't just keep jiggle peeking to see what's going to come in, especially against Masick, who has been one of the candidates for MVP of the tournament, especially on that duelist role. Him and Yugi have been insane, so that's a good thing. Bringing out the Aldron to scare away the Chamber from playing in that position, but also look at where Ryan's is now.
Good info here. Not only that, is he gets the information, obviously, where Masick ran away, but he also gets the info that JJ have doubled up in towards Showers. So, some information from Big, a lot being picked up from that Aldron, but now they start to turn their attentions back over to B. They've loved this side of the map. They were able to get the spike down last round, couldn't quite close it out. Now with 35 seconds left, it is going to be that fight down towards Showers that works out for Alfire. So opening kill for Surreal at 30 seconds left in the round.
I've got your trail.
He knows with that trademark collecting information. Oh, this round's a little different though. Masick in the previous couldn't miss a shot, and now he can't land one. 14 seconds left. They're still trying to charge their way through. Remember, J-Lurst is still up at hookah. With 9 seconds left, Big have not put the spike down. They have to commit to it, and they're doing it with the safety of inside of that tuna can. So no kill for the denial of the plant. And now Big starting to find a couple of kills, but Alfire's turn to pop off on the retake. He's found 3, and his teammates will close. 3-1 start for Surreal. Big just cannot handle this Turkish aim power.
And these retakes have been really good for Surreal. It's been really clean. They find an initial pick over on Showers. And it is kind of like those adjustments from Big, like the mid-round adaptations, which you would expect to be great when you have a player like God B on your lineup making the calls, kind of fall into, again, some of the traps that Surreal's setting. The aggressiveness over on A, it allows a lot more space for Surreal to take, and even though J-List doesn't get too much there with the kills, it's the positioning, and it opens up the whole of the site for Alfajir to get those free kills.
Yeah, I think you can see right now that Big aren't fully focused, right? They're a little caught off at the moment. Make a few things are misfiring for the side. They need to try and get into this matchup. Twistin trying to force the issue in Showers, but ends up just going down to Alfire yet again. And this quick space taking from Big has not really found too much success. Alfire with another. J-Lurst finally goes down, but Alfire, his second triple kill of the game so far. And now just Obnox in one foul swoop left into the clutch. Now, has taken significant damage, and the flank coming around the backside. Obnox is not going to get away with his life. He'll get a plant, but getting away from this is impossible. Will fall down to the flank.
I think that's going to happen quite a lot, isn't it? These flanks. Big. Running with that Viper double controller, double initiate means that there isn't a chamber or anything like a Cypher to watch these flanks. It's something that Surreal is going to try and push as much as possible. Like, they're going to be the ones that aggress, certainly on this defense. And again, a bright start on Big's map pick.
Yeah.
And even if it's a case of like Big even pull this into 2-0 in the first 2 maps, there is always that risk that Surreal can reverse sweep it. They just have that ability that they seem to get better and better over a series. I think they typically always lose that first map against the teams that they play, but they always claw it back. So the fact that they can start off strongly here against Big on their map pick is a big concern.
Yeah, absolutely. Massive concern, some might say, but nonetheless, Big again. It feels like a war of attrition at the moment. The buy, it hasn't really been a classic eco. It's mainly just been forces and forces into a buy coming up due to the loss bonus. So Big have bought themselves up a significant purchase. Now comes the orbital strike. Tried to use it in the last round. This time will work it to success. Twisting get a lot of ground and was able to remove JJ and Alpha here from play. So Viper's pit pop. So many ultimates coming into this, but J-Lurst is caught out too. Casper and Obnox go down, and the numbers again evened out at 3-3. And J-Lurst, nearly gets away with a kill on Twisting. That could have been the final nail in the coffin, Ryan.
Trying to find this Viper. You look at the guns available. It's a Vandal for Masic, who's actually just going to reload on the outside of it. Going to get flanked around in a second by Got B, so Twistin looking to get the ace.
Yeah, he's done everything in this round. Aslan will close it, prevents the ace from coming through, but nonetheless, not only was it the kills that Twistin found, but perfect combination with the orbital strike, locking out showers, creates space through lamps, can push up all the way to defender's spawn, and Twistin obviously wraps around heaven to get that 3rd kill as well. So big impact out of Twistin in this round. He's got a showstopper online, and Big will pay back to another round win. For Surreal, though, you can see their investment's still coming through, but it has got a Spectre in play. It isn't the perfect buy here, and they have 2 ultimates online, Cosmic Divide and the Resurrector online.
Operator actually going over towards B this time. Alpha trying out that boombox to see if there's anybody there. Twistin not wasting any time. The showstopper's even going to be used, but it clears the close corner. Doesn't catch up to J-Lurst. And Twistin here could just try and sell a bait. He's got 3 players already stacked over into this position. Actually, I think Masic's teleporter doesn't actually bring him over to the A site. He'd still be hunkered in on B. Yeah,
it's massive control already. You know, a significant part of the map already contained for Big. This has been the role of Twistin time and time again. Obviously, he had to use a showstopper this round, so quite a lot invested into getting that early. And now
this is what Big want, though. Like, just the pulling the rotations. Surreal at show where they should be. But I'm a little bit worried the Big will still end up over towards that B site where there's a stack waiting.
Yes. Maybe a bit more information gathering needed for Big here. They have got 50 seconds to do so. Twistin is going to try and extend out of hookah. This position from Mace, you can obviously take a bit more of a risk with that rendezvous.
Speaking of risk,
it can get shot up. It can shoot that rendezvous, and it will happen. So it's gone now. So no more quick teleport in this position. Now becomes very dangerous to stay in. So Masic has to drop out.
Aldron's even going to be dedicated. And Masic, through the smoke, gets that pick onto Twistin. Gobby was over then. Gobby has that operator too. Now the Execute's going to come in onto the A site. The spike is on its own in shot, so that was a little bit risky overall, but the plant is going to come in from Aslan. 4v5 post plant. The ultimate's available. Casper is not too far away from having the Seekers.
Yeah, right now, Big got the spike down fantastic, but the problem has been for them holding on to the site once it's gone down without ultimates. Aslan tries to slow them, but they're going to run right through the snake bite. Luckily, for the Big side, it is to their demise. Alpha hits the deck. Big now even out the numbers. 4v4 as Ryans and Aslan going toe for toe, but Aslan will go a little deeper. Another kill found to equal out at 3, and now got B into the clutch, goes through, and transfers onto 2 heads. You don't usually see the stylish clutch from God B, but when he shows up, it's a bonus.
It's also funny, the frantic, like trying to pick up a gun on the ground because he still had that operator in hand. And I think a lot of that, like, great stuff from Godby. He is one of the top clutches that we've seen in BCT, despite Big's pretty torrid performances at stage 1. But Aslan getting the triple kill over towards Lamps finds that opening on an awkward early round for Big. They were still trying to find that space, trying to push towards B, try and punish Masic, and then scrambled over to the A site a little bit later. So yeah, Big now turning it around, and it's them that's actually calling the timeout, even though they've won the last couple of rounds in a row.
Yeah, because absolutely at this point, Ryan, it does not feel like this game has been comfortable for either side. I think everyone needs a little breather, considering the first 2 rounds we've seen of play. 7 rounds have all just been mental. You know, Big win that round, but how do they win it? That is the point, right? The fact that it comes down to Gobi having to clutch out a 1 versus 2. after the spike had gone down and Aslan stepped out with a 3K. That doesn't really seem like the most replicable closer. So a few things need to be patched up here for Big. Maybe nerves online. I mean, that was the story that Zescht was pointing out time and time again, was this team sometimes need to get their nerves settled. The experience certainly needs to come through for this team. And we're now at a very big matchup, right? You realize at this point, if you lose this, you're no longer in the VCT. For Big, that would be disastrous.
I think, yeah, changes to the team I think could happen at that point, because Big have like a big squad now when it comes to the players that they have.
Okay.
Yeah, Casper expecting the crunch too. At least Surreal know where the spike is, but Obnox watching that keenly needs to be careful that he doesn't get taken out by J-List here.
Oh.
There's a bit touch and go yet again.
Yeah, it's just relentless aggression from Surreal, and we see the tour de force online. I mean, you definitely want to go and throw something at it here at Masic. But at this point, Surreal feeling a little rough. It was a risky call there, Ryan. They head through the TP, pretty much out of spawn, try and catch Big. A little off guard outside of showers, but could quite make it happen. Obnox collecting the orb, gets himself close to that orbital strike for the next few rounds away. But Masic now realizes it, of course, will be this B-site plant confirmation. And he's trying to head his way through defender spawn. Has the Phantom and the Tour de Force to play with.
A lot of pressure put into this position. They know that even if they give Masic an inch and he's already doing a little bit of damage, he could take the whole thing. So it's Big just stalling for time more than anything.
It's just shot after shot going through this smoke from either side, and Masic, you don't really want to go through that. You can't go through that favorably at this point. So yeah, the time has been tucked on too much. Masic can really win the round, but if he can do some damage on the way out, you would love that, because Big don't have a lot of cash. Unfortunately, so close to the kill, but Obnox will survive on a slither of health at 3. So turns back, gets that orbital strike online. Obnox now has that to play with going into the next round as Big tie up the scoreline 4-4.
Surreal had a bit of a brighter start. The fact that they've still been able to keep this operator online is a big aspect of it, however. I think that's where we saw like Big start off slow against Focus, then he brought it back, and then Yugi just sort of keeps the operator in hand and it's able to do so much. So that's still my concern, is that we haven't really seen Surreal have to fully move away from when it comes to this buy. Now there is that, again, aggression towards ramp. Masic's close with the operator.
Twister once again wins the battle of Hookah. Masic trying to assert some dominance up in towards short. If he had found that pick, that would have drawn the numbers back and
Right here.
would have been a significant player out of play. But Big holding this advantage now, grouping up outside of A with the majority of their forces. Again, with this amount of time left, Ryan, you don't have to commit anywhere. But they have to realize they may have considered map control, because look at how players push down.
Oh, that's a nice kill for Twiston, and the tag over onto JJ means he has to scramble out with the orbital strike used. He's still trying to hold it to the showers position, but Zekas is going to give him up as well. There is this wraparound though. Look at where Alfajir is.
Yeah, he has continued this flank around. The whole play has been pushing down middle and getting this flank going. There is a flank coming into the flanker, but the damage has already been done. Obnox removes him, and now just Ryan's left. The chances of winning this round for Surreal have become very slim. You know what Ryan says, he's so low on health, he has to run away, he has to concede this, and Big will take the lead.
It was chaotic there for a second, really.
The hunt's already on.
I do think that one of the things that's, whilst there's a lot of aspects with Big's play that makes me a little bit anxious, like the way that they're still playing bind without taking like showers and be long especially, that's just Big don't care about that sort of space on the map at all. It also means they don't care about the orbs to get those ultimates online. But the thing that I think is the difference between yesterday is Twiston is finding so much success. Like, he's only on 7 kills, 7 deaths, but I'm pretty sure that they're all 7 first bloods. And it is typically over towards Hookah, which allows Big a bit more map control where they can toss and turn which side they want to go to. And Surreal are falling right into that trap. They're playing super aggressively and they're being punished by Big stacking up and protecting each other.
Yeah, Twiston's going to send the Boombot up in towards Hookah again, and JJ probably preemptively waiting for the Boombot to come in first. Twiston realizes he can peek with the headshot. The element of surprise pays off for the first kill of this round, but Masic, he's had enough of letting this one happen. He gets aggressive into A short, pulls one back on the Headhunter as we're going blow for blow. They might find the spike here if they continue to push forward.
There is this kind of like weird
ships in the night.
goose chase happening between the two. Yeah, I don't think they've spotted it, but it also could be an open A site if they manage to stay past.
Oh, so close. Masick nearly lines up a couple of shots, but ends up just blowing the entire barrel away. Not a single kill found from it, but at least one pick has been collected and sets up Alpha here for the clutch. One versus two for this guy. It is very doable.
1 ult point away from a showstopper too, so if he gets that first kill, brings out that ultimate, maybe even as they're planting, Casper's going to go in for it now.
Yeah.
Looks like with that operator, not watching heaven.
And good Toxic Cloud here too. Wow, there's a chance for Alpha here to play through it. Now the showstopper goes out. And looking at the plant, surely has to bleed towards Lamps in this close corner or out towards Showers. Tap on the defuse. Big ballsy play here for Casper. He's calling the bluff. He doesn't think he's sticking it. Now Alpha here goes to it, but this time Casper will be close. Will be ready for the peak, but Alpha here comes off at half and is able to secure the clutch in the 1 versus 2.
Casper's going to be so upset about that. It's not only the fact that that flank comes in and he's able to make all of that space without that defuse being stuck. It's that for some reason, AlphaShare was expecting him to come from that position. Maybe even if we see this guy staying in Showers and just peek out of there, that might have been enough. But again, like Big, just assuming that if I smoke it off, it won't be pushed. You're talking about Raze players here. You're talking about Turkish Razes. They're going to push smokes and take those fights. Big caught sleeping a little bit, but that whole round was a little bit of a mess from them on the attacking side. Losing the spike in mid, all that, it's awkward.
Crazy round again for Big, and that is going to be frustrating, but finally, they've had enough of letting Twistin find that opening in towards Hookah. They wall up, they take the peek over the top, and RyanCentral come out with the first kill of play, but they not long after treaded it out, and Aslan, deep in Lamps, had a chance to take down a couple, but ends up getting caught from Alphair. Not really up for long there, Alphair. Ends up going down to God beat. Now the Guiding Light going through from Rians this time, and that spike will be planted here for Big. 3v3, but the res is up.
Is Casper going to try and aggress on this? No, he's going to back out. Opnox, he still has that Molotov, but playing in from Lamps, the Trailblazer's going to try and clear as much as possible, and then AlphaShare finds God B.
Yeah, another one found from AlphaShare, and he's just been so good in this game so far. Flash goes around, the Guiding Light sets up the peak for Obnox, and he's able to come away with a double.
So is Molly.
Again, 2 players left. Molly is up, but he's no longer up. Alphair with a headshot closes it out again. Another multi-kill, another 3K for Alphair. He's just having an absolutely incredible showing to map one of this best of 5. 6-5 now. Surreal will at least confirm themselves the tie at the first half, but they want to go into this one ahead. They want 7 rounds to 5 going into the second half, and at least Big have got a buy to try and stop that from coming through.
They also have a lot of ultimates, but just look at the left of the screen. Surreal teetering on AlphaShare having another showstopper despite only using one a round ago.
That's wild, isn't it? It just shows you the amount of output, how efficient Alphair is being in terms of picking up these or finding these kills.
Extremity control, like they can farm up ops and they can farm defuses and stuff as well, so it feels like it's a bit of a backstep there. But again with the operator, it's strange to see him of all players over on it, but it's something that clearly Surreal aren't expecting. And he finds that opening against JJ. That means that the res, which was 1 away, isn't going to be used, I think. I think it was 1 away.
I think they just used it last round, so...
Oh yeah, you're right.
They wouldn't have had anything online, but nonetheless, it is a big kill to find it belong. Trailblazer will go through, collects information onto Masick, who then has to drop back out of his position. So Big have taken this distraction towards Belong and thought about a chance maybe to push through Lamps. They have got deep in towards it, and Jailer's about to check. Twistin still comes out on top. Now a showstopper set up in the air. That's their best nuke impression. Alphair able to come in with 1 on Twistin, and at 1v4 now for Surreal to try and get 7. Not looking likely at all here with Big already popping that Viper's Pit, and Rian's only the sky alone.
Orbital Strike, almost a Hunter's Fury for Gob 2. Rian's with the Seekers could get a lot done. We've already seen a 1 versus 3, so maybe a 1 versus 4 isn't too much out of the imagination, especially a Surreal player. Ryans is very good at clutching these. That's a good start. That's a great start.
What? That's the Viper's pit down now. And he's got the Seekers online. He's going to send them out. And okay, yeah, he's decayed, but his health will rapidly rise again. And now he's looking to take this opportunity to get this over half. Seekers go out and create a distraction. They buy enough time. Those shock darts will start to come through, but now they're out. And now Ryans is off the spike. He can go back onto it, but 2 players still for Big. They come into the fight, and Casper will beat him out. 6-6 at this half. It's as close as you can get it. Split right down the middle.
Oh, yeah, you want this for like the first map of a BO5 like this, especially. But Big, the composure was something that we always liked from them, but that half felt like they were flying by the seat of their pants. You know what I mean? It felt like
they barely were in it, right?
Very panicky, very on edge, I suppose, overall. Now that they're on this defense, there's a chance to really set the tempo overall. I think one of the things that I spotted with Big yesterday is that they lost all of the pistols against Focus and then lost 3 out of the 4 bonuses as well that Focus would have had. So a pistol here, I think it sets them on nicely to take this map, even though it's still even on score. I think Big looking a little bit stronger in these pistols and ideas should set them up comfortably on this defense.
Yeah, it is Big's map pick, so Surreal are to take this to the start of the best of 5. That feels rough. That feels very rough, and so Big would love a pistol here. It's going to be a quick long play towards B for Surreal. They've taken the orb control. Inside of Hookah for the time being here, Alfire, he needs to be worried about potential flank around the backside, and also Obnox just on the other side of it. Here comes in that Frenzy, and that's landing twisting off to an absolute flyer, but the Spike was always trying to get out through showers, and it's managed to do so. It's in towards the side of A, and Ryan's in the mix, able to flank B's head. So down into the 4v3, make it 3v3, as suddenly Surreal pull this one back.
I just don't know why they wait. They have 5 players advantage in this, and JJ's still able to get more. He's upgraded to the Frenzy, and he's playing in lamps all up to Caspe.
Yeah, it's suddenly turned from a beautiful round for Big to an absolute nightmare, and Casper tries to figure out, is there a chance to pull this back? And once he goes into the showers, J-List is waiting with a headshot, and it's 7-6. Surreal will take the lead. They will start this second half strong, and we'll see what Big decide to go with in terms of investment here. So far, just a shorty for Twistin. This should be an 8th round, no problem for Surreal.
It's also the fact that you have Big being very careful and considered over on B. They check Hookah, they know that there's a flank there. They have multiple players go for the teleport, but they still check for that lurk and catch it. You sort of expect, okay, we're going to, as defenders, aggress a bit more on A, B even, get all of that information. On A, just sit tight. We'll come to you. Let them plan. We can play in a retake. So the fact that 2 players for Big go down early in that fight because they don't wait, again, that coordination is completely off.
Well, Masic's got off to a good start. Doesn't really seem like we're going to get a similar start to this half as we did in the first, where we just seen thrifty rounds coming back and forth. This looks very clean for Surreal. They're even ready for Obnox to be playing inside that smoke. And now Surreal up towards the B side, but the spike down. Just got B and Aslan left. So not really too many problems here for the Surreal side of things, but I think there's going to be a lot of problems coming in for Big if they lose this map. You know, you look to the rest of the series, it is Icebox available next. That's going to be Surreal's map pick. If we take this, likely to find the second. They'll be 2-0 up in the best of 5, and then would only need 1 more map in the rest of the maps available, which are Fracture, Ascent, and Breeze. So, yeah, rough start here for Big, and they realize how much it means to them to fight for this first map win.
JJ has this res too. Very early start to him, and I think that the ult economy is starting to ever become a more prevalent aspect. But now that we switch sides, is Surreal still going to fight for those orbs? Seems likely. Over towards the shower's position, Alvagier going in off the back of this flash, and it does catch Aslan, but only a little bit. The Phantom wins out.
Well, Aslan is doing very well. Big will happily collect that advantage. The unfortunate thing, the res has been invested into this round, and now they're looking to go for it. Out through showers, Twistin decides to hunt them down and pull that kill once again back in Big's favor. They've done that, no problem. And now we'll see the reply for Surreal. Where are they sending these forces?
Not only did Sky use all of her utility to get that information in scale on showers, they lost the Sky. So
yeah,
it was a 5v5 back with that Resurrect, but Twistin immediately shuts that down. He has a paint shell, still has a satchel. And right now, because of all of this utility, the Eldron can be expended. There's still a Trailblazer for Caspe if he wants to check towards B at this point. The Big are content. They're happy to sit back. They have that recon dart as soon as that's ready to go as well. Surreal just have to kind of like push and scale up without any utility. This is so much information that Big has been able to get in the last 20 seconds.
30 seconds left in the round, and yeah, it feels like Surreal being brought to a halt. This is a round they used the resin. This is a round they were going all out to win. And now they're in a real rough spot at 20 seconds left, desperately barreling towards this B site, but there's 2 players here, and so this should be a big closer. They're going to send down the molly, but problem is here, Masick is taking one. Hellfire bites his back, but Aslan, Casper, and Obnox do a good job at locking down the site. Surreal get toyed with, and Big now find their first round of the second half.
It's also such a risk as well when you have the Astra in this comp, where JLS doesn't have any smokes left, and they just have to push in over on the B side. So, yeah, I think even with all of that fight happening in showers, still nobody picked up the ult, which was quite funny, all things considered. And a great adjustment for Big. Like, they have the better buy. They should be winning up against that bonus. But Surreal, using a bit more, that Resurrect is going to be so impactful with how JJ started off in this half. Big can strike a very hefty blow by picking up this next round.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great chance for Big to settle the dust a little bit in this second half and settle the dust in their favor, in fact. So we'll see if they can do that. At this point, it's clear intentions for Surreal. They're trying to split into this B site. Got beast done very well to find the head of Masick early, and the initial attack of Surreal has been weakened and it's been slowed. Now they have to try and figure out how do they draw them into the open. How does Surreal find these picks onto Big to create an even situation? They're trying to make it happen, and Riyadh, oh, what? That is a big transfer onto 2 players, but luckily God B is even bigger himself. 3 on the hold, 2 players left for Surreal, and Big in a good position. If the spike goes down to still retake.
They're just playing so passively because look at this lurk coming in from Aslan. He's able to pinch behind, and the Sage Wall isn't going to stop them. I don't think the Surreal are going to expect this. The rest of Big are just playing so passively. They're just waiting for this flank to come in.
Oh, down to 1 inside of the site. That sets up the flank perfectly. Knows exactly where the last player is, and Big will have no problems retaking the site. That looked horrible. When Ryan's transfers some elbow to Cubby in one foul swoop and takes down 2 defenders like that, you think, damn, all right, Surreal into the site, no problem. But God B, he is kicking and screaming his way through these rounds, and he's taken down 3 players on the initial hold. Good stuff from him, leading by example.
Marvelous, yeah. It's not only those triple kills, but the call to be like, twist and stay. Basically, twist and just hang tight. Let Aslan go in for this lurk. We can just keep them focused over towards here. And it's those kind of adjustments that makes Big a VCT level team. Like, again, they sort of struggled. They've had a hell of a group, right? When you've got like Gambit in there, you've got Liquid, Navi, FPX, London United. But those kind of rounds are going to be the difference here. And Surreal, this aggression, this high-tempo play, finding not very much. And now they're forced on a lower buy, but that's something the Big still need to respect.
Yeah, well, the Guiding Light is going to go out towards B long early, trying to assert some control there, getting some info. Surreal, 2 rounds in a row now, they have committed towards the B site out of spawn. We'll see if Big start to realize they can again push through showers. You can see already Aslan kind of toying with that fact. Hasn't pushed too far forward just yet, but I'm sure with more information on their commitment to B, we'll start that. Obviously, right now, they could actually just TP back, so it doesn't want to go too far unless that happens. And the tour de force, oh, that should have been the opening. That should be the first kill of play, but the tour de force going out like that is a disaster, essentially, here for Surreal. And now they're trying to force this defense back on B. TP play.
Yeah, Hunter's Fury's actually forced him through, and the Seekers is going to connect onto... No, actually going to go towards Aslan. He's still over towards here. He's going to get flashed away.
Yeah, but he threw down the snake bites, Ryan, and that slows the attacking force.
They've reset. Yeah, they've gone towards shot now, which they were trying to pin onto Twiston, who again, right call to get out of there. He's going to check towards showers.
TP again. They are just going to go TP again. I love this. This is a great call, realizing the rotations likely came through from Big. Now they're trying to get back in towards this B site.
Aspe is there, and Gobby is just sprinting. He is so good at these rotates. Right place, right time in every single play. JJ 15 HP beats Gobby a second 3K, 2 in a row now at this point. And I think that was the thing I was going to mention at the start of this round. Like, pay attention to how fast God B is rotating over. This comp that Big are running is very susceptible to 5 players just running at a Sky, for example, on B long. But because Obnox is there to support anyway, and God B is just switching from side to side of the map, he's sat in spawn waiting to rotate. It's the fact that Big can get like a 3-player stack over to shut down if Surreal want to play for something a bit faster.
Well, Surreal, timeout. They definitely need to bring a slow to this matchup. And Big have taken control of it. Surreal, let's take a look back into their last round, and their previous round, shall we say. Has been a lot of B-centric play. A lot of control going towards long and through hookah to try and split in towards this B site. But Big have been fantastic on rotating back in time. They've been great at initially slowing that down. Surreal, they've got to change it up a little bit here. They're leaving the spike in spawn for the time being, so someone should go and get that in just a moment. But what would you like to see here from Surreal, Ryan?
I think trying to play for those parts of the map fast is something that I've liked. It does feel that they're just sort of defaulting into like B executes off the bat. I think maybe it's just a sense of avoiding twisting as much as possible. But now it's got B. Both these initiators playing over towards B, so the fact that they're heading towards A could work out quite nicely. It is both the controllers trying to fight for showers, and that's because Obnox is one orb away, and also so is Aslan, so either of them could pick up this orb, try and get their ultimates online. I guess at the very least stop Surreal from picking up that showstopper or resurrect, right? It feels bigger, more focused on stopping Surreal getting these orbs and getting these ultimates online in comparison to them focusing on their own ults, really.
Well, Casper going for some information with the jump peaks. Will eventually get that info, and significant info again. It is, again, this full B commitment from Surreal. They really feel like they can make some waves with this play. But now they're deciding to alleviate that pressure and see if there's a reaction from Big elsewhere.
Aldron is going to be used first. Trailblazer saved a bit later, but also Casper having a Seekers could just rely on that a little bit more. So Surreal trying to bait that they're going towards A, pinging that, even forcing Trailblazer. Yeah, they're trying to fake towards B, but because of that Trailblazer being used, it's spotted just enough to sort of anchor into these positions. Godby needs to be careful though. If he's playing in this spot, it's a perfect angle against Alphagear. He's going for more. Look at him.
Yeah, Seekers go out with a recon bolt as well. Toxic screen up, and that is going to hold back the forces of Surreal with 25 seconds left. It's a desperate play again through the teleporter. Twisting comes through his own and hits the headshot on Ryan as he tries to drop back. And Surreal now down to just 3 players. This attacking side is looking very linear, and now they continue to run forward. JJ with only 1. Spike has not been planted fully yet. Jailers had to come off it. Now we'll commit to that plant, but holding on to it becomes a different story. You've got to deal with so many players. The swing out from Twistin is stopped by Jailers, but he has taken significant damage, and now 3 players know exactly where he is. They're going to start retaking upon his position. They've got the guiding light, the recon bolt's even available, and that regrowth getting Aslan back up to health. It's hard to see how he even gets into this. He's damn close to the transfer, but just the sheer numbers of Big left is able to pull through for double figures.
Big looking a little bit rocky in some of these like retakes for sure, and like it's a round where Surreal have JJ give up the plant, even though he's 1 orb away from having resurrect, to go for a wide peak to take that engagement and just gets traded out instantly. So it's again like bigger picture stuff that I'm looking at. I think Big are winning out on the macro, how they're playing the map, how they're approaching their comp, Surreal's comp, but Surreal are winning out in some of these more clutchy moments where it comes down to the brains and aims all coming together. Viper's Pit now going to be used towards showers, and Big changing up the pace, actually played very fast towards B long. They don't find much, but that's good information to work with.
And Twistin does very well to collect this first. Big love Twistin's impact that he's been able to find with opening kills. You know, a lot of the rounds over on the attacking side as well, he was able to pick up some openings, not always to the round win, but certainly was finding opening success. Back to Hookah. Minute left though, just over. Cosmic Divide being invested into here for Surreal. They commit towards the site, sending the pinch shells in to try and prevent anybody from playing over the top of it. But look at Twistin. Oh, they read the play. And Twistin's head no longer attached to his body. Plant coming through here for Surreal. Send the Showstopper in to try and stop it. But yeah, hasn't been committed to just yet. And that Cosmic Divide's going to come down.
He's forcing big ultimates out big though, however. They want to be maybe saving on to these, but Surreal. Cosmic Divide, Showstopper already. Now it's a case of just trying to hold on as much as possible. The buy is atrocious, but the close quarter weapons could work out in lamps.
Yeah, well, that plan finally will be allowed to happen, but it's still a 4v4. All of that ultimate usage, as you pointed out, Ryan, it hasn't got the kills back in their favor, and now they start to move forward. God B clearing out wide angles, but no one peeking into them. Finally, they'll start to rattle together a couple of kills. Casper with the wall bang. Tap of the defuse will cause pressure to start to mount for Surreal as they get aggressive and try and wrap it, but the defuse is already being held over half, and no problem for God B to close it out. Another multi-kill round for him, and big up to 11.
That's concerning now when I'm looking at Surreal. I understand you need to get these rounds on the board, but dedicating the Cosmic Divide, fine. You know, a throwaway ultimate and can be the difference between you getting the plant and making something work with it. But then Alpha J getting a kill and then wanting to dedicate the Showstopper. I mean, that's something we've seen from Surreal a lot, even from like the group stages, right? Where they just throw all of their ultimates that they have available to try and turn around. But for big, it's just comfortable. They sat it out. They had to use some big stuff themselves, sure, but a Showstopper, Hunter's Fury, still available for this buy. And I think that's why God B wants to play from here. If he can connect onto somebody onto sand, a nice way to sort of pulse through on some early damage, and it allows the rest of big to actually push through Hookah for that initial pressure. Love this aggression coming out of the defensive side.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. Big, a lot more comfortable. You pointed out, you know, often you will talk about the attacking side setting the pace of a map. Well, Big can certainly do that on the defensive side. And they have set the pace of the second half. They have disallowed Surreal to run quick plays. They have forced them to maneuver to their will. And now Jailers, he's spotting the flank, and it just keeps on coming. Big's aggression doesn't stop, and yeah, well, Jailers is going to put it to a stop. 2 kills found, and that opens up B almost entirely. There is God B still over there towards Hookah, and the rotation coming back to try and bolster this B defense, but the spike's still outside of A, Ryan.
Yeah, they knew that Big have been pushing in these little herds of 2. So Jailers gets one, expects the other to re-peek a little bit late. It's a smart play. And now Big, having utility to use to try and get information, just have to hope to stack at this point. And Surreal found themselves a way in, all things considered. The spike's going to go down. And 4 versus 3. The economy is fine for Big, to be fair. It's just worth a pop at this. And at the very least, it keeps that money tight. Especially with Masic having an operator. Getting a kill on him and the rest of the Surreal can't pick up that gun. Kind of ruins him getting into round 21.
Yeah, Surreal actually feel like this is a golden ticket. Somehow a rope has been thrown down to them to try and pull themselves out of this hole, potentially. If they can keep this one clean, they have just lost a single player so far. Bigger in the side, Aslan has found another headshot. Now Twisting can get something done here on the retreat from Lamps. He will do just that. Finds the head of Alfire, but now Aslan, the last remaining player, can't really do too much about the damage. He's not really in a position to really even fight Jailers until he swings into the open, and he will actually beat out Jailers. So we'll see how that affects the economy of Surreal. It's not a great situation over there, but nonetheless enough to get the buyout still. But that certainly is now the lifeline being thrown over to Surreal to keep themselves in here.
For sure. It is still concerning that if Big pick up this 12, that there is very little money for Surreal to continue working with. But the Resurrect for JJ, that's going to be really handy, but we haven't really seen it that much considering it was one of the first ultimates available on this side.
Get it.
Now it is just, again, the Sky Flash coming in towards Showers, Boombot over on Hookah. That's not been pressured enough towards B because of their good conditioning on the defensive side, able to get this all for free at this point.
The pick for Twistin is solid to take down the Trailblazer, but what is that? Puts himself in a very compromising position, ends up going down. Will they expect Aslan? That res is coming through. Aslan is still checked. They are ready for the double up in Showers, and Surreal commit to the A site with absolute brutality, and Big can't do much about it. You might have to save this one, Big. There's no shot at winning this. It is a safe call.
They have absolutely let Surreal back into this one after playing the big macro style of play. Big were looking top dogs, but they've let a little bit of that comprehensiveness slide a little bit. Twist and out in the open just gets jumped up by 3 players whilst he has his knife out. But I think it's like street smarts from Surreal, right? Of just knowing, all right, we've got 2 kill towards A. The Viper usually plays around here. Like a toxic screen is set up. She has a smoke. She's probably playing towards showers. So everybody keep an eye out. And Aslan probably thinks he's been a bit more coy there to go for a peek. But no, everybody from Surreal is expecting it. And it is those kind of moments when it comes down to it, the Surreal look the better team out the 2. So if Big kind of end up in an awkward spot, it's only Surreal winning those. We haven't really seen a huge amount of clutch out moments from Big other than what God B's been able to offer. And this comes as no surprise to me. I think just with how these last couple rounds have gone, Big are in a position to close it out quite handsomely over on their map pick. But Kundi having to come in and be like, all right, remember protocols. This is what we're supposed to be doing. Don't get caught out doing dumb stuff here or there. We have this to work with. We have that. Don't fall into what Surreal wanted to do when it comes to their terms of play, I guess.
For Surreal now, the momentum certainly sides with them, and they realize this is an opportunity to get out of the tunnel of bind and head onto Icebox. A good team effort across the board from both teams. And kill disparity not too significant. Ryan's topping the board and topping the server with kill count at 20 and 13.
He's
11
been
to 10.
fantastic last couple of days.
He has been absolutely brilliant. Leading the charge. Doing it on Sky as well.
Yeah, leading on clutches too. So him and God B is a really interesting matchup to find.
Watch and learn.
Leading clutches so far in promotion, should I say, for Ryan's. Quite a few to his name. I think a dozen now.
That's insane.
They have a buy, they have a showstopper, and I think Twiston's had it for quite some time. Casper not able to pick up the orb this time now that there's some initial pressure coming in from Surreal over in this spot. God B playing in hookah on his own. Masic leading the line with this operator. And I think Casper's playing on an off angle here, so he's kind of out in the open.
All right, Masic. Yeah, just gets an easy pick there. God B ends up going down. And that's the signal to go. That's the signal. So everything you've got at this one. The Seeker's going out. Alphayo now diving towards the back of the site. It's actually Twiston that's done well there. Aslan and Casper coming through, but Masic starting to have some of that impact that we have been starved of. But it's suddenly a 1v1, and Aslan has to clutch it against JJ, and he's done it for Big. He's put them to 12 rounds. Exactly what they needed. And one more round left till they take their map pick.
Oh, that was a chaos execute. You could even see the observers being like, oh, where do we even look? There's so much going on here. And it is Aslan, the one that sort of comes out into this clutch. The execute comes in. It's awkward for Casper despite being able to get one kill. But Aslan through the teleport because everybody from Surreal comes over from that like B-long position. Gets into a nice spot to find a few. And not only that, he has that Viper's Pit good to go. He's going to use it towards short. Surreal wanted to stay in this. They have lots to work with.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, really, the impact Aslan has had in that round. Sweeping them up from hookah. And now Surreal. And do they go back to the setup that didn't really work a whole lot throughout this attacking side? It is back to B.
It's double stacking hookah too. Viper's put a toxic screen that goes across from hookah as well, so there's a lot more support coming in from Aslan despite him being on another part of the map, but Offnox shaking up maybe a little bit from the satchel sort of coming in from Alpha. She finds that first blood.
And that TP's also come in, and that allows Twiston to swing into the fight. He's won it. A risk play, perhaps. That could have drawn the numbers back to even odds and weakened the A defense entirely, but with Twiston winning it, it now puts the side of Big into pole position, essentially, to take this map win. 42 seconds. TP play is still available for Surreal, but it's unlikely to work.
I think they're leaving it late in the day to use the teleporter to see if they can catch a few more at this point, but there's so many smokes. Oh, look at this.
What?
JJ is absolutely going for it.
No way that's worked. A couple of kills come from it. Just the sheer madness of the play itself. And remember, Twistin is still alongside Aslan, who's actually decided to come through that TP and double up towards Hookah. Masic trying to force them into the fight, but it is disciplined here for Big. They know as soon as that commitment to the spike has come through, it separates it into a 1v3 play. And now they're going to remove that one player, and GotB will find the follow-up. Big will take it. They will take map 1. It's done in a pretty scrappy style, but nonetheless, the result is the same.
Oh, I mean, it was very touch and go in a lot of these rounds. Even that last one, Surreal were maybe going to make something work of JJ's Sage Wall boost through a smoke. But I think, yeah, like Big, certainly at the start of the second half, they were in full control, on as even at halftime. It meant that Big were able to just sort of make their composition work.
Yeah.
They didn't fall into playing super aggressively against Surreal. But there's still potentially 4 other maps to play out here. It's not done at all in the case of Big. Even being 2-0 up allows Surreal to come in and reverse sweep. You can't write them off, and especially with the map pick of Surreal coming up next.
Yeah, absolutely. Map pick of Surreal coming up next. We're close to taking Bind, but Big will pull through. We're going to a break. When we come back, we'll have the desk to break down map 1.